Hello everybody, how are you doing today? My name is Miss Bland. I'm here to help you with solving equations that have variables on both sides. If you don't remember what a variable is, it's basically a symbol that represents a number we don't know yet. So we want to know what that number is. In the equations that I have for you today, it's going to be 8 of them. I use a symbol X. But it doesn't always have to be necessarily X. It could be Y, it could be M, it could be C. It's whatever that equation is using to represent, that symbol is using to represent that number. So to begin with our lesson plan, I want you to get out the worksheet that says equations with variables on both sides. I have wrote all the problems on my little worksheets right here. I apologize, I don't have a whiteboard, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do to improvise. So let's begin with number 1. Okay, like I explained, variable symbol, 5x is a variable. On the other side is 2x. It is another variable. And to begin with this problem, what we want to do is we want to get x on one side. That's the only way you're going to be able to solve for x. So in order to get x on one side, what we do is we apply what's called the inverse operation. We have a positive 2x. I want to get it off of this side, and so it's over here on this side. What I do is I take away 2x because positive 2x minus 2x will cancel each other out. So balancing method on linear equations, we know what we apply on one side, we have to apply it to the next side. So 5x minus 2x. This will give us 3x. Bring down this constant, which is 15. We now have 3x is equal to 15. We don't want to know what 3x equals. We want to know what 1x equals. Easy way to do that, we get x by itself. And how do we get x by itself? Divide by itself. Divide by 3. So 3x divided by 3 will give us 1x. And balancing method tells us that what we do on one side, we have to do to the next. So 15 divided by 3. We now know 1x is equal to 5. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have 4x plus 2 is equal to 2x plus 12. Two variables, 4x and 2x. First thing we want to do is get the variable on one side. So what we do right here, we have a positive 2x. Inverse operation to cancel this out, minus 2x. What we do on one side, we must do on the next. 4x minus 2x is equal to 2x. Bring down the constants. Plus 2 equals to 12. But as you notice, 2x plus 2, x is not by itself. So we need to get it by itself, and what do? We apply inverse operation, cancel that out. 2x is by itself. What we do to one side, we must do to the next. Minus 2. 12 minus 2 equals 10. 2x equals 10. So we want to know what 1x equals. Divide it by itself. Divide it to the other side because balancing method tells us to do so. X is going to equal 5. And do you see how 10 divided by 2 gives you 5? So moving on to the next one. We have negative 8x plus 7 equals 4x minus 5. Two variables we notice is one is a negative 8x, the other variable is 4x. First thing we want to do, get the variable on one side. So we can either A, go negative 4x and get it over here, or we can do the positive. Me, I like positive, so I'm going to do it's most convenient for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plus 8x, inverse operation, it cancels it out, plus 8x, that gives us 12x is equal to 7, because you bring that down, and we bring down this constant, negative 5. But 12x is not by itself, so we want to get this out of here. We apply the inverse operation, plus 5, balance method, tells you we must do it to the other side, plus 5, and we get 12 equals 12x. So we know what 12x equals, but we want to know 1x equals. What do? Divide it by itself. Balance method tells us we have to apply that on the other side. And x will give us 1. 12 divided by 12. Well, 12 divided by 12 equals 1. So now we know that. So here, going on number 4 is the first time we're going to see parentheses. It is used a lot of times when you're doing linear equations with variables both sides. And what we got to remember, same thing you would do before. If you see the parentheses, we're going to extend it. We'll expand it. And that means we're going to have to multiply within the parentheses. So negative 4 times x is going to give us negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 3. Remember, negative, negative, positive. Negative 4 times negative 3 is going to equal plus 12 equals negative x. So we want to get x on its own. It's already on its own over here. So we're going to apply the inverse operation over here. Plus 4x, because that is negative 4x, plus 4x. So negative 1 plus 4, 3. So we got 3x equals 12. Now that we know what 3x is, we want to know what 1x is equal to. So what do? Divided by 3, divided by 3. Ooh. Anybody tell me what 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we got the answer for number 4. X equals 4. All right, so let's go on to the next one. I apologize, I'm moving really fast, but I have to get through these problems, and I want to help you out as much as possible before we take the quiz. So the next one, we have 5x plus 4 is equal to 10x plus 10. Apply, multiply within the parentheses. So 5x, 5 times 4 plus 20 equals 10x plus 10. And we're going to get the x by itself because that's one of the big steps, one of the first steps we have to take. So 10x, 5x, most convenient to just move 5x over here. So inverse operation, minus 5x, minus 5x, 10 minus 5, 5. Plus, bring down the constants, 10, 20. We have 20 equals 5x plus 10. So we want to get 5x by itself. Take away this number with inverse operation. Minus 10, balance method, both sides. 20 minus 10 is equal to 10 equals 5x. So we know 5x equals 10, but we want to know what 1x equals. So divided by 5. Balance method says do it on both sides. That gives us x equals 2 because 10 divided by 5 is going to equal 2. Next one, we have 6x minus 11 equals negative 2x plus 5. Variables, 6x, negative 2x, okay? We want to get it by itself. So, easy way to do this, we're going to do inverse operation to get rid of it on this side. Plus 2x. Balance method, we have to do it on the other side. Plus 2x. 6 plus 2x is equal to 8x. But it is not by itself because we have the constant of negative 11 over here. So we want to get rid of it. Excuse me. So negative 11, inverse operation is positive 11. Balance method, positive 11 on the other side. 8x is equal to 16. We want to get x by itself. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. X is equal to 16 divided by 8. 2. Alright. So number 7. Same thing. We have the parentheses. We got to work out that problem first. Working within these parentheses first. 3 times 4. 3 times 4x is going to equal 12 plus 12x equals 24x minus 12. So our two variables now are 12x, 24x. So we want to get it off. We want to get the variable on one side. Inverse operation to get rid of it on this side. So 12 positive 12x, we're going to subtract 12x. Balance method, we must apply it to both sides. 24x minus 12x is going to equal 12x. Bring down the constant. So 12 equals 12x minus 12. So we want to get x by itself. Inverse operation to get rid of that on that side. We have to apply it on both sides to balance it out. So now that is gone. 12 plus 12 is equal to 24 equals 12x. So now that we have that, we know 12x equals 24, but we want to know what 1x equals. Divide it out by itself. 12. That gives us 1x. And then 24 divided by 12, because we have to balance it. 24 divided by 12. 2. All right, so now we're going to our last problem. We have 8x minus 2 in the parentheses equals to 4x plus 8. So first step, parentheses. We have to work within that first. So 8 times x, 8 times negative 2. That would give us 8x minus, because it is a negative 2. 8 positive plus 8 positive times a negative would be a negative. It would be negative 16 equals 4x plus 8. Now it's completely broken down. We want to get the variable to itself. How do we do that? Take it off from one side. So negative 4x. Negative 4x. Balancing method tells us if we take it from one side, we have to do it to the next. That will give us 4x minus 16 equals 8. But 4x is not by itself, so we have to get rid of the constant on this side, which will be positive, the opposite of a negative, inverse of a negative, positive. That will cancel that out. Balancing method tells us we have to apply it on the other side. 8 plus 16, 24. So 4x equals 24. Now how do we get rid of, how do we tell what 1x is? We divide it by itself. So 4x divided by 4 will give us 1x. Okay? Balance method, we have to do it to both sides. So now we know 24 divided by 4 is 6. Alright? And I hope y'all all saw how simple that was. If you have any questions, definitely just let me know. And I think every one of you are going to be able to get 100% on this test. Just remember the order of operations. If you have parentheses, hey, break down that parentheses. You got to expand it. Next step, we got to get x, the variable, or whatever the variable is used in the test, by itself. So we need to get it to one side. Inverse operations, let's apply that on the other side to get it to one side and move it. Make sure that when you're applying inverse operations, it is the opposite. So if you have a positive 4x, we have to subtract 4x. And if we do it to one side, balancing method tells us we have to do it to the other side. So make sure you apply the balancing method. And then if you have a constant still on one side of where the x is and you want to solve for that variable, you have to remove it from that side. You have to get that variable by itself. So like on number 8, we see 8x minus 16. So we have to get rid of 16 to get 8x by itself. So positive 16, you know. So just, I want you to make sure you remember those steps. Follow those steps, and every single problem you will be able to solve with ease. So that is it. I hope you learned something, and have a great day.